Hello everyone, and this is Cameron, and today I'm going to do another Transformers for Last Night video. But before I get into that, I will be doing a Q&A on the teaser trailer, so of course submit your questions in the comment section below. It should come out probably sometime next week. It really does depend on the amount of comments I get. So yeah, if you've got something you want to ask, I will give you my insight to it. And hopefully, by just judging of the comments on my previous video, let's just clear a lot of things up so people understand on what's actually going to be happening in this film. So the topic of this video today, we'll be talking about the box office report on this film. How will it turn out? Will it turn out very badly or very good yet again? Because we know in the third movie, Dark of the Moon, that reached $1 billion, and typically third installments do end up reaching $1 billion. It was the first time in the franchise it reached that number, and then Transformers 4 came along and, well, it just made over $1 billion. Really thanks to China, because it made the most money in that country than the entire world. And the reason why Age of Extinction really did well in China, because not only was it filmed there, but the marketing in China was extreme. When it came to the China scenes, you probably saw every second of the screen marketing material, because it was just so huge for this. And I've noticed recently how people have been picking up on how China is taking over Hollywood, not in a negative sense, in a sense that movies are now going with China because it's just the biggest audience over there. Now, before you start going into the comments and start blabbing out reasons why I'm wrong, let's actually do some fact checking and, well, get the facts right and make a general conclusion whether or not it will make $1 billion this time at the box office. Now, I just want to emphasize, this isn't like a hate video on the Transformers movies. Despite what many people think about these films, I generally like them like most people. They're a popcorn fest and they're enjoyed to watch. So let's just have a look at the history of the Transformers box office domestically. So yeah, when it opens in America, this is the general report. So as you can see, Revenge of the Fallen did the best, and second is Dark of the Moon, and then it's the first movie, then Age of Extinction. So this is a kind of situation where America's sort of getting tired of the Transformers movies. Not totally, because obviously you can see those numbers, they're still pretty impressive. But when you look at Age of Extinction, that is a significant drop. And just guess how much China gave Age of Extinction? Over 300 million. That's almost double than America. The reason was, obviously, as I said, it was partially to do with China's, with the marketing material and the, the huge audience and being filmed in China itself. That was a big plus. And dinosaurs as well. This is the thing with the Transformers movies. They always have a thing. Like, when you see the trailers, there's always this big thing that draws you into it. And the first movie, for example, it's just basically the Transformers for the first time. It's pretty amazing. And then we got the Revenge of the Fallen. Michael Bay promised better action, explosions. We certainly got that. Revenge of the Fallen had Devastator. Well, the third movie had the Driller and Shockwave and Sentinel Prime and human drama as well. We had Megan Fox being replaced by Rosie Huntington-Whiteley, and also, it was promoted as the final battle, the big one, And with Age of Extinction, as I said, with the Dinobots being filmed in China, not a reboot, but it is a reboot, with new looks and aesthetics and everything, that's going to obviously have a big opening, obviously it was treated, it's in the same continuity, it's still the same thing, but, sort of treated as a reboot in the whole sort of design aspect. And, well, partial reason was also just mainly the Dinobots. The Dinobots was a big draw, and people were really looking forward to finally seeing them on screen. And with the fourth movie critically being worse than Revenge of the Fallen, it seems to take that, will people come back to the next movie? And obviously it's not filmed in China anymore. It's obviously taken a different direction, mostly filmed in the UK, because it's going for the whole Merlin, with the Nazis and everything, with Sir Anthony Hopkins and, that whole history there. It's going like back in time or something. Well, we don't know specifically, but it will certainly be related to the past. The past will be a big thing in this film. But my question is really, can they get away with making over $1 billion again? And I feel like this Transformers movie, if not this, then the Bumblebee movie, it will suffer its first sort of flop. Now, when you generally think about it, there's still good numbers. It's still good, even if it doesn't make $1 billion. Say it makes over 900 million, like Suicide Squad, that didn't make $1 billion as we were actually expecting it to, but it didn't. But it still received, it still got a lot of money. But the thing was that people still consider it a disappointment. People were having their hopes up, and I know you're probably thinking, well, it made a lot of money anyway, so why be selfish about it? Well, these are what the statistics look at. They generally want them to just reach $1 billion, like the predecessor, because then they start getting nervous and worrying and start planning out this, how long does this franchise have left before it starts dumbing down some more. And I've got a feeling that it will no longer be set in China, will it still make that same impact? Because obviously, as I mentioned, in China it had a lot of product placement, and of course you can't put Chinese product placements in like a place like the UK because, you know, it doesn't match. It's, you know, it doesn't work like that. The promotion within China, it'll still be pretty huge. Of course, China is one of the biggest countries in the world. I'm not saying that the Chinese audience from before won't come back and obviously watch the next one. You know, it's just a matter of, you know, can they really get away with it making that much money that time, you know, because obviously Dark of the Moon made more money than it did Age of Extinction because, as I said, it just went over the mark of $1 billion. They just got there. So as I was saying before about the big thing that draws in audiences for these movies, as we know recently we got obviously the trailer, and there's a lot of stuff and there's a lot of speculation, and some people are really going out with others because they think this is one thing and this is another. But well, let's just break it down, and as I said, let's just do a speculation and actually fact check on some of the things that we know will be in the movie that will, if we see in later trailers, will draw people in. Because the matter of it now is the Optimus Prime thing, him all being evil, you know, Nemesis Prime, and some people think, is that really Nemesis Prime because he's treated as a separate character? Well, all this sort of stuff will be answered in the Q&A and all that sort of stuff, and my take on it. But that in itself, that's what's drawing people in at the minute, but is it enough to bring a large majority of people in? And that's why other stuff like the dragon that people have predicted is Predator King, and also the giant submarine that will appear that we saw very briefly in that shot there, and this is all true, that is actually happening in the film because a bunch of companies went on the set of The Last Night. They got a bunch of information, you know, like Collider, IGN, Screen Rant, etc. It was also mentioned as well that Optimus Prime and Megatron's backstory will be explained. Yes, Megatron. People think, okay, wait, what happened? He was Galvatron, now he's Megatron again. It's like, well, yeah, we're still thinking the same, but the thing was, Michael Bay himself, on his official Instagram, you know, months ago, released Megatron was in the film, you know, as you can see right there. That's why you're seeing on like news and reactions where you see where people are mentioning by Megatron. It's because, well, it is Megatron, and the look of that character that we saw with the sword looks exactly like the concept art we got, the official concept art. So there's your proof. And also, people are thinking that this giant planet is Unicron, and some people think it's Cybertron like myself, and some people are thinking, well, it could be Quintessa, and we got that. If it is Unicron, I really doubt it would be Unicron. Not saying that, you know, the possibility of Unicron appearing in these films is, you know, no, I feel like Unicron would be best when this cinematic universe ends, just because, you know, big battle and everything. But if it is Unicron, or at least I don't expect it to transform just because of the altitude of it, you know, because what we've seen of the promotion pictures so far, the only thing it's doing is just sort of extending itself, maybe like lynching onto this planet or something like that. But of course, all this sort of stuff will be answered in the Q&A. If it turns out to be Unicron or not, I really don't know. I think people just really want this to be Unicron, so they're willing to defend their back and anything, and I can't really blame them for that because, well, people really get excited for these movies. But as I said, other questions like sort of stuff I will be talking about in a Q&A, so ask me questions about that. But they're the sort of things I'm talking about that will draw people in, and this is the sort of situation we've got to sort of wrap our heads around now, because this is actually going to be a big movie. You know, we've got the giant planet, either Unicron or Cybertron or whatever, and then we've got the creators. I believe they'll just be teased, you know, we won't actually see them, but who knows. And then we've got the dragon, you know, people are saying it's Predator King. Then we've got the giant submarine, and then we've got Megatron. So all of those things, if we see them more in the trailer, this is what's really gonna, you know, will it be brought across well in the future trailers to really draw people in, because they're really sort of, you know, really making this universe big now. And my personal worries is, will it be able to manage within the film? Like, will we be able to cope with that? That's a question we'll have to find out in future trailers. I'm not saying that it will or will not make $1 billion. More of a speculation on how, okay, it's the 5th film now, because with the Harry Potter movies, they're a fine example. They did very well, very successful, but they really only a few films made $1 billion. And I feel like if this franchise is going to keep on going and going, there will be general films that come out, like the Bumblebee spin-off, which I genuinely believe that spin-off will not make $1 billion. Nor is that a bad thing or anything. It's just people expect these to be huge, big films that make $1 billion now. Well, I feel like at some point it'll have a flop, even though it won't be really considered a flop. It just won't make the $1 billion mark, and obviously big companies are always expecting it to make $1 billion. But anyway, guys, that's my thoughts on it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think Transformers: The Last Night will make $1 billion? Will it be another success for Hasbro, or will it just just almost get there, or do you think it'll be less? Give me your box office prediction in the comment section below. Now, unfortunately, I won't be able to give a prize or anything when we do eventually find out. There's no winner or anything, but you know, it's just a fun little speculation. And so as I mentioned at the beginning, submit your questions in the comment section below also, and I will answer them in the next video that I do of transfers for last night. So this has been Cameron. I hope you've enjoyed, and until next time, goodbye.